Welcome to World Talk Brief. Today we're digging into a plan that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, moving artificial intelligence off planet. Elon Musk just made a huge move that could totally reshape the future of AI in space, and we're going to break down exactly what's going on. So the big news is this: a major corporate merger. Elon Musk has officially combined his AI company, XAI, with his rocket company, SpaceX. Now, this is way more than just some corporate paperwork. It's actually the first step in an incredibly ambitious, long-term plan. And that immediately brings up the big question, right? Why? Why would you merge a company that builds rockets with a company that builds AI? I mean, on the surface, they seem like they're in completely different universes. But as we're about to see, there is a very specific and very massive problem that this whole thing is designed to solve. Okay, so AI's energy dilemma. The answer to why doesn't actually start in space. It starts right here on Earth, with a huge problem that's starting to make the entire tech industry pretty nervous. And that problem is energy. AI is incredibly power hungry, and it's only getting hungrier. I want you to just picture one of those giant data centers that run today's AI. They are packed with thousands of super powerful processors, and they get incredibly hot. So they need a ton of electricity just to run the computers, and then another ton of electricity for the cooling systems to keep them from basically melting down. As AI gets smarter, this demand is putting a serious strain on our power grids. And this is how Musk himself frames it. He basically says that trying to meet AI's crazy energy demand here on Earth is going to force us into a corner. We'll have to choose between advancing technology and the health of our communities and our planet. So from his point of view, the only real solution is to find a new place to put all these computers. So where is that new place? Well, that brings us to the view from orbit. The solution is in space. The idea is to physically move the hardest working, most power-hungry parts of AI completely off the planet. So what are we really talking about here? The core idea is what you'd call a space-based data center. So imagine a facility, or probably more like a huge network of them, all orbiting the Earth. They would do all the heavy lifting for AI, and they'd be powered 24/7 by the best power source around, pure, unfiltered sunlight. And this quote really gets to the heart of the logic here. If the two things you're running out of on Earth are power and physical room, you go to a place that has a basically infinite supply of both. For Musk, this isn't just some cool futuristic idea. He's framing it as the only logical way forward if we want AI to keep growing. Now, to really get what's being proposed, you have to understand the absolutely mind-boggling scale of it all. This is not about launching a satellite or two. This is about building an entirely new layer of infrastructure for human civilization, but in orbit. The long-term plan calls for a constellation of 1 million satellites. Just let that sink in for a second. Right now, there are maybe 10,000 active satellites orbiting Earth in total. This plan is to increase that number by 100 times, creating this gigantic, interconnected computer network in the sky. So, you might be wondering, how in the world could you launch that much hardware? Well, the key to the whole plan is SpaceX's Starship. It's designed to be completely reusable, and it can haul a massive payload. We're talking 200 tons in a single trip. No other rocket in history has even come close to being able to lift that kind of weight. And it's not just about how much it can carry, it's about how often it can fly. The goal is to get to an almost unbelievable rhythm, like an assembly line to space, with a Starship launching once every single hour. That's how you go from just launching rockets to actually building megastructures in orbit. And here's where things get really disruptive. Musk is predicting that within just 2 to 3 years, it will actually be cheaper to run AI calculations in space than it is on the ground. Now, if that turns out to be true, it would completely flip the economics of the entire tech industry on its head. But of course, a vision this ambitious isn't happening in a vacuum. Musk's announcement has basically just fired the starting gun on a whole new kind of space race. This isn't a race to the moon. It's a race for the limitless energy needed to power the future of AI. And you can be sure he's not the only one looking up at the stars. Jeff Bezos with his company Blue Origin, and even Google with something they're calling Project Suncatcher, are reportedly exploring their own ideas for space-based solar power and data. So a new competitive arena is definitely forming between the biggest names in tech. But what makes Musk's move so powerful is just how uniquely all of his companies fit together. This merger creates what we call a vertically integrated ecosystem. He's got the rockets from SpaceX, the AI from xAI, the global internet from Starlink, a huge source of data from X, and he even has government contracts that help pay for and legitimize the whole project. It's a system that no one else can match right now. So this all leaves us with a final, pretty profound question. Are we watching the beginning of a massive shift for humanity? Is moving our data, our intelligence, our entire digital lives into orbit just the inevitable next step for civilization? Well, the race to find out has officially begun. Subscribe to World Talk Brief for more clear, thoughtful explanations. World Talk Brief, news explained without the noise.